Alicia Pratt.
And I'm Alex Pratt. This is Everett Roderick Bruce Pratt, born June 4th, 2023. And we're from South Winslow, Prince Edward Island. We were actually sitting here just what we normally do on a Saturday night. Went to bed like every other weekend you always would.
I was bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke Alex up because we had called labor and delivery and they were like, no, come in immediately. So we grabbed our phones and that was pretty much it and headed to QEH and I got admitted.
And I guess once he did arrive, that's when things kind of turned. He wasn't saying anything, he wasn't moving, it didn't seem right, obviously. Yeah. They waited a few seconds to cut the cord, and once they did cut the cord, they'd realized that there was no blood in it. They had him on a warming table, so we ran to the NICU while they were continuing to give him compressions to kind of keep things moving. Dr. Beth Ellen Brown, who's our neonatologist, she arrived 6 minutes after birth and started to assess him, so tremendously quick. She explained clear and concise that she was diagnosing him with HIE, which is hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, which is lack of oxygen to the brain. And that was due to the ultimate initial injury, which was a placental abruption, which caused him to bleed out inside. And so at this point he's in a severe deficiency of blood in his body, not allowing his heart to pump oxygen anywheres and thus creating HIE. She notified the IWK and released a Code 1 mission, which is a life flight, so a helicopter coming to the QEH to pick him up immediately and transport him to the IWK for further care. The real reason for that is the equipment he needed. So with HIE, obviously what comes of that is a brain injury. So lack of oxygen to the brain, he had a moderate to severe brain injury at that point. And so one of the critical interventions is to actually put him into a hypothermic state as quickly as possible. Whenever they were getting ready to bring him out of hypothermia, so bring him kind of essentially back to life, he was like on a ventilator, not really moving on his own. And the doctors over there actually said once we do a scan of his brain, they told us to find out amongst ourselves what we consider quality of life and what we would determine how far we wanted to go. Because he was a sick little boy. He had liver failure, kidney failure. His heart wasn't working on its own. He was on a ventilator and at that point no brain function.
I looked at Alex and I said, I'm not talking about that.
And that
was the end of the conversation.
That was the end of the discussion. That was a discussion we just could not have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad we didn't.
Yes, me too.
They tell us they're going to start to warm him back up slowly to bring him out of his hypothermic state. Things start kind of coming back to life. And he opens his eyes.
Every day he was coming off of something, coming off medications. It was incredible.
The next day his liver function came back to normal levels. The next day after that his kidney function came back to normal level. And so things were progressing. Day 10 they probably gave us the indication we'd be looking to move home. So we asked someone to bring over a car seat, because of course we didn't have one yet. Got our final papers and loaded them up in the truck and headed for the QEH. They wanted to obviously see him at the QEH, really just to get his weight up, because he was still quite small at that point, and to, I guess, prove his functions, that his organs would maintain where they were last seen at the IWK for at least a few more days. And we were perfectly fine with that. We were happy to be back in our hometown and with the staff that ultimately saved him to begin with. The signs we were told to watch out for, we've blown past those. So, motor function, talking, understanding what you're saying. As much searching has been done, there's no repercussions from his injury that we can find.
He's a big goofball. He's the happiest baby.
He is.
And we're just so happy that everything went the way that it did.
He needed very, very specific attention and care. And, which ultimately needed him to go to the IWK to facilitate that. So to have that locally, it's I guess a game changer. We hit 100 lottery tickets just to keep him here. And that was equipment, people, expertise, at the right minute, the right second, the right time. All the important equipment at the QEH is through donation. That floored me, I'll be quite honest with you. And so that really also lit a fire under us to do better at that. Because everybody needs that life-saving equipment at the QEH. And for the only avenue to have it is through donation, that just makes it that much more important. Because you could be happy one day, but you're absolutely going to need it the next.